All right, I think we are live. Let me refresh the group and see if we are in there. And
like
we will get
swimwear.
Exactly. And we'll get rocking and rolling. Huh, that's weird. It's showing the title of it, but it's not showing the video for it. There it goes. Okay. All right, cool. All right, let me tag everyone.
What's up, everybody? I'm David Thomas.
He probably can give that speech. All right. Hello, everyone. It is David Thomas. I got Mr. J. Woolwine with me. As always, we're going to be shooting your Tuesday. It's mindset, motivation, all things to help you become a better version of yourself. All right. So our purpose here, we jump on here once a week. It's pretty short, usually 10 or so minutes. And I apologize if my video's a little fuzzy. I don't know why StreamYard does this. Like I can get on Zoom, I can get on Facebook Lives all day long with nothing. I pull up StreamYard, which is what we're used to stream to the group, and it messes things up. I don't know what the deal is. But anyways, as long as you can hear me, hopefully all is well. So today, all right, so this was actually a request. Okay, so like I said, we get on here every week, and we want to just give you value and help you become a better version of yourself. Sometimes it deals with just personal development. Sometimes it deals with trading. Today, it is more towards that trading line, all right? And this was actually a request from one of our members here. And they asked, in trading, how do you emotionally detach, right? Emotionally detach from, money, emotionally detached from the outcome, emotionally detached from wins, emotionally detached from losses, because, you've heard us say a million times, you have to be a robot, right? You can't have this roller coaster highs and lows when it comes to your trading. I want to trade, awesome. I'm on cloud nine. I lose a trade. This doesn't work. It's a scam, right? You go through all of these emotions, and I've seen 1,000 different traders go through them. So Jay and I and the other leaders can pick them out pretty well what cycle you're in, but it's not something that you want to keep. You want to overcome that, and it's a process. But today we're going to talk about it a little bit to help you do that. All right. So, and this is actually where a lot of retail traders fall short. All right. And then a lot of guys, like straight out of the gate, they want to be good in like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They want to be just crushing it. Right. And just typically that doesn't really happen. If you've come in, like, let's say you join our community and you've got a bunch of experience, I'm not going to put any kind of limit on what you can achieve and how short of a time you can do it. But if you're brand spanking new or just kind of you've been dipping your toe in, is it really realistic to think that you're going to be crushing it in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? And it's not the tool, it's not the strategy, because guess what? Those are pretty push button nowadays. It's the mindset. And that's what's going to take you a while to get over. All right. So anyways, we're going to talk about that today because there's more when it comes to mindset than anything else. And like I said, it's not the mechanics of trading, it's not the strategy, it's not the tool, it's the mindset.
Right. Like David, yourself, does that happen a lot? The answer is no, right? It takes time to start thinking about money in regards to trading, right? And then at the other end of the spectrum, right, sometimes it's those same people that, like we said, like right when they come out of the gates, they want to just kill it, right? But then they start questioning themselves, right? They start backtracking and they lose confidence in what they're doing. So really what we're talking about is how to control those emotions, right? How do you control your emotions? And emotional control is essential if you want to become a successful trading, right? If you want to be successful, you got to get a handle on those things. And the most important thing about it is, like David said, it's kind of that emotional detachment, right? It's separating yourselves from those emotions when you're trading.
Yeah. And so one thing, Jay and I have learned, and all the leaders here, when it comes to trading, is that first off, you have to be very careful giving yourself financial targets. All right. Trying to achieve a certain amount of something in a certain amount of time, because what's going to happen is you're going to put pressure on yourself and you're going to force trades. All right. You're going to force things that aren't there. You're going to force things that you shouldn't be in. And so you're like, I got to get my X% today. I got to get my X% this week, or I got to make my certain amount. that is a recipe for disaster. If you're trying now, some people can do that once you've mastered, and this is where you kind of get that back and forth between advice and good advice and bad advice, because sometimes it depends on where that person is. Like somebody like, a professional trader, or somebody's been trading for a while, like Jay and myself and Jason and Michael, we can give ourselves those targets and it wouldn't mess with our mindset, right? We'd have to be cautious about that, and we'd have to obviously keep rein on ourselves. But you give a new person a target, and guess what? Their mindset just goes to crap. They're just like, well, I knew it was weekend was coming, and I have to get in these trades, right? You be realistic about the risk that you're taking, and you've got to be realistic about where your soft targets are, because your trading is also a function of the opportunities that are available in the marketplace, right? And if they're not there, they're not there. And if you're forcing things, that's just going to make you more emotional.
Yeah, and to take that emotion out of it really is the most important part, right, of controlling the emotion, is kind of take it out of your trading, right? But it's before you even enter a trade, right? You need to know what your stop loss is. We always talk about defining your risk, right? Kind of use that scenario where, like, you don't want to get on an airplane and have the pilot wait till you're up in the air and then go, all right, where are we going, folks, right? I mean, hopefully they already got that stuff already planned out, right? And that's the same thing with your trade, right? It has to have all the parameters defined before you get in, right? You need to know what your stop loss is, right? And if it gets triggered, you're out, right? You're not moving your stop loss. And that happens to everybody, especially when you're new, right? And every trader who's traded and is successful, they've all been stopped out of positions, right? There is no, doesn't matter what you see on that ad on Facebook, right? There's no 100% strategies. So the stop losses and discipline are absolutely the key, right? That's where that emotional attachment is so paramount, right? It gives you that detachment, right? Is using the discipline gives you the emotional attachment from your profit and loss, right? You're going to realize a loss, but you need to be able to switch that off and just get out of the position, right? Just stick to your rules and take the loss and move on to the next trade and live to fight another day, right? That's what we say. It's about controlling losses, not just getting wins.
Yep, absolutely. And and you think back, I mean, just talking a little bit about being kind of detached from that emotion when it comes to money and wins and losses and things like that. I think back to some life experiences, right? One life experience was not having any money, and so when you're a person, when you're just broke, you realize that you can't afford not to take a risk. And so it really flips it where you lose that, emotional detachment of, I can't lose this X amount, whatever it is. And for compliance reasons, I'm trying not to say any dollar amounts, just even as an example. So bear with us here. But yeah, you're like, people are like, I'm so worried about losing this my account or whatever. It's like, when you're broke, you're like, I mean, I'm already broke, right? You lose the emotional attachment. Like, what is that going to get me? So you're not afraid to take that risk because you can't really afford not to take the risk. Because if you don't take the risk, you're going to stay where you are. And you obviously, or I didn't like where I was, right? So, most people are like I said, they're like, I don't want to lose this. But if you lose it, you're already broke. So it's better to be more excited about potentially being in a better position and realizing that this might be potentially the tool that, helps you get closer to those goals, right? So versus a tool to just keep you comfortable in the situation that you're in.
Yeah. When you're broke as a joke, right?
Right, exactly.
We had a quote that we were going to use. I just kind of thought of a way to say it without, we ended up not using it because we didn't want to be non-compliant about giving dollar figures. But the bottom line is, if you're squirreling away every dime, hanging onto it so tight, right, you're never going to grow, right? It's that you have to have money to make money scenario. You don't have to have money necessarily, but the money that you do have, you have to be willing to take that chance, right? And that's what we're talking about. And once you're doing this, you start to realize pretty quickly, right, that returns come, returns go, right? It's never the end of the world when you take that loss, right? It's never the best day of your life or the worst day of your life, right? It's just another day trading, right? It's just the day in the life of a person who's gonna play this game, right? Trading is just a big game, right? And once you start to realize that it's kind of all just part of the game, what's important is that you stay healthy, your mindset's clear, and that you can stay in the game, right? And what's that saying Jason always says? That we always make fun of, you stay in the game long enough to
win the game.
To win the game, yeah. Right? It's exactly right. I mean, we make fun of him for it, but it's exactly right, right? If you just stick around long enough, right, for things to get clear for you and for you to gain that discipline, right, then you can continue to progress, right? And just because you make it one day doesn't mean that you've got it all figured out, right? You can lose it again, right? And you really just get emotionless. We keep saying the same thing, right? You get detached from it, and you realize at the end of the day that as long as you have your health, your faith, your family, love, I mean, none of that money is going to change anything. It doesn't really matter.
Right. It's like back to thinking about past experiences. I was alive when I was broke. And you're alive as a professional trader or a successful trader, whatever your goal would be for you, right? If you lose it all, I think to myself, like if I lost everything right now, well, I survived back then. I'll survive again. I'll figure it out. Plus now we have more resources, right? I have more insight. I have more knowledge, more connections. It's not going to take me as long to figure it out again. And so a big part of it is just believing in yourself and knowing that whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen, and it's all going to work out if you keep following the plan, right? So because of that, you can't put too much stake in the emotional outcome of money or wins or losses or whether you make it or whether you lose it. You have to stay with the understanding, or you have to have the understanding that it comes, it goes, it's just another day in the market. Right. And so that's when you become numb to ups and downs, whether it's your P&L, whether it's your mindset, whatever. Like you have to become almost just this steady numbness when it comes to the market. It can be fun, of course, and it can be you can enjoy it, but it's almost real once you truly realize that it's never your best day, it's never your worst day, it's just another day, that you're going to lose that emotional attachment to it. All right. So hopefully that helps, especially the person that asked for us to speak on this. So hopefully you get value out of that. And once again, sorry for my pixelation. I'm looking at my cell phone, Facebook, and the other screen, and it's like all pixelated. So that's not good. But anyways, hopefully you heard what we said. You got value out of it. We appreciate everybody watching every week. And Jay, appreciate you, brother. And we will see everybody back next week.
See you guys.
Take care.